a very special webinar by Alex Collier, held by wolfspirit.tv in association with alexcollier.org. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, or wherever. Come on, camera, lights, action. Good afternoon. This is JP. This is what I look like. It's horrible, I know. Never mind. But I've tried to make myself look presentable enough to present our very special guest on what is probably the first in a multitude of webinars and educational events, which Wolf Spirit Radio, which will become Wolf Spirit TV, which will become Wolf Spirit Media Network, will bring in over the next few months and years to help you move through these shifting times. And so, to that end, good afternoon. We are today speaking to Alex Collier, and without any further ado, everybody knows who you are. Alex, good afternoon.
Hey, JP, thank you.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Hi, everyone. Thank you for supporting this. This is the first time I've done anything like this, and I'm a little technically challenged, but here we are, and I just want to say thank you very much for supporting this, and if there's something, if there's enough positive feedback, you know, maybe we'll do another one here. We'll just have to see how this goes. I have to stick to 90 minutes because I am in a library here in Colorado, and I only have the room for that amount of time. So we'll just get right to it. A couple of notes, personal things up on top, or up in front, and that is that I get a lot of emails from people who want me to sign up on linked, and I don't do the social media thing. I know that there's a Facebook page. That is not me. That is a tribute page someone else has done entirely on their own. So I have nothing to do with that, and I just want you to know that I don't. It's not that I don't want to or I'm ignoring you, but when you contact me through that page, I have to join the page in order to tell you no. So I'm not going to do that. So now you know. For those who are trying to get on and for some reason haven't gotten the link, when this is over, we will contact you and give you the ability to see the rebroadcast of it, or whatever it's called. Okay. We're going to talk about some things today. We're going to do some current stat of where things are, in my humble opinion, and we're also going to talk about some information that I've been sitting on for 25 years, simply because I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to go there. But you know, when you look at the stage of the world and the way the stage is being set, to create chaos and to throw everybody into fear and panic, I'm getting very clearly that it's time to address this issue, or at least give you the Andromedan perspective of this issue. And you know, we're about to, and I know things are really weird out there, very strange, but we're about to get into a whole new level of weirdness in the world. I want to cover the frequency, and I'm going to cover current events about what's happening here on planet and off-world as well, to try to keep you guys up to date on what's going on. And I know that there are a lot of other sources, and this is very, very good. I share my perspective and what I've been told. And it is entirely up to you guys to decide what you want to do with the information, as it always has been and always will be.
From a distant galaxy to your personal computer. A third webinar with Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. October the 23rd, 2015. In this webinar, Alex will be talking about current events, off-world news, especially regarding the dwarf star, assistance from ET in building bridges of transition for humanity. Why Mars now? Migration of the soul, according to the Andromedans, and the stages of soul growth. Book now for this third contact from our friends in Andromeda. Go to www.alexcollier.org.
And wallspirit.tv, and I'm trying to do, without very much further ado, you know who he is. Please settle down, get your cup of tea ready, and relax. And here's Alex Collier. Good afternoon, Alex. How are you doing?
Hi, JP. Thank you. James, thank you. Everyone who's on today, thank you very much for attending. I really appreciate your support. So, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, because we are around the world. We have a lot to talk about today, and we're definitely going to try to get to the questions at the end. And we'll try to get to as many questions as possible. So we're gonna kind of do this in stages. We're gonna start with some current events, and we're gonna kind of jump around until we get to the soul's journey, which is what we talked about last webinar, and then we'll close. You know, for years and years and years, many of the things that Maureen Fausset has talked about, I didn't know what to do with the information. I just simply didn't know. I didn't know where it fit, but I always knew that there was a reason that they would share information. And, you know, really the last couple of years, I kind of see where things start to fit. Especially their information regarding who we are and our ability to not only create our reality, but also, you know, our dimensional lineage. And when we get to the soul's journey, you know, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But,
A very special webinar by Alex Collier, held by wolfspirit.tv in association with alexcollier.org.
To wherever you may be on this beautiful planet of ours, currently orbiting a rather interesting star. Right now, this is the fourth webinar we have with our dear friend Alex Collier, who, well, we're all a bit croaky this week. I don't know whether it's the chemtrails, the CERN, or something, but it's all a bit so. Please excuse any roughness in our voices. We are doing our best. It's been a hell of a week. So, good afternoon, Alex. How are you, my friend?
Good morning.
Good morning for you, isn't it? Yeah.
Good afternoon, James. Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the flu. So if I should disappear from the screen, it's because I'm going to blow my nose or something. Thank you all for being here very much, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I want to thank JP and James for their help in doing these webinars. Without them, it would not have happened. It wouldn't happen. And I want my children to know that I love them and I miss them. Ladies and gentlemen, there has been current events. There's just so much going on. If you're paying attention, there's so much going on in the world, and incredible amounts of fear, incredible amounts of hype. And I want you to know this is all by design. And we're gonna do a little bit of history today because it's relevant to what's going on currently.
Where you going to start?
Intervention is occurring on multiple levels, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to do some history today, as well as current stat. Now, there have been some questions that have come through James regarding Planet X and current updates. We're going to get to that, okay? We're going to get to that. But what I do want to share with you is one of the more important things, and that is in 161 BC, when the Archons arrived, they created an electronic fence around the planet that effectively blocked cosmic knowledge. And many oracles on the planet used that intelligence, that information, in order to share with their people, to provide wisdom to kings, to queens, to diplomats, barons, lords, leaders of communities, of nations, etc., military people. That pretty much began to shut down and was in fact shut down. And that was done by the Archons. I want you to know that sometime in the last 3 weeks, and I don't have an exact date or time, that fence is down. It is completely gone. It is down. And what's happening is that people are beginning to remember now not only who they are, but what their original intent was, and they're beginning to get information about what's happening.
Welcome to Alex Collier's first webinar in 2016. Topics tonight will be current events and time to stop sleepwalking. The last third of the webinar will be a question and answer session. We will try to address one question from each webinar attendee. So have your notepad at the ready, be seated comfortably, and enjoy today's webinar. Here's your host, JP.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. Welcome to the 6th Alex Collier webinar. My name's JP. I'm here with James Harkin of alexcollier.org and Alex himself, all bright and bushy-tailed after a lovely new year. And a new year is new house. Thanks to you, everybody out there. So before I babble on too much, here's Alex and today's webinar.
Everybody, hi. Thank you for attending this humble webinar. I just want to say I'm not sure about the bushy tail part, but I am thrilled to be here, and I'm glad to make your acquaintance, all of you. It's an honor and a pleasure to address you, and I just want to tell you how appreciative I am of your time, the 90 minutes we have. I just wanted to say to those who are bootlegging the webinars, you know, I get why you do it. I totally understand that. But understand that this is my only source of income. And in doing a good deed, you're actually kind of hurting me. So just be mindful when you make those decisions, please. Listen, we have a lot of things to talk about today, and of course, I certainly want to get to the Q&A at the end. But a couple of notes, current event things. On January 17th, 220 nautical miles off the coast of Seattle, several buoys registered a 4-foot drop of the Juan de Fuca plate. The Juan de Fuca plate actually butts up against the North American plate, and the Juan de Fuca plate actually runs underneath the North American plate. Now, the last time this went was in 1700, and the tsunami was 60 meters high and went 10 miles inland. I'm only bringing this to your attention because we all have friends or know someone in the Northwest, Washington, Oregon, BC, British Columbia. I just want to give you an FYI on that so that you pay attention. Okay, there's a lot of things going on. There's an enormous amount of energy hitting the planet, and whatever we can't absorb and process and use is being released in different ways. So just, FYI on that, okay? If you've been following the information for years, you're aware of the fact that when I first started talking to the A's, they were telling me that the reason they came back to our time is because 800 years in their future, tyranny shows up in the galaxy. And they trace those events to this solar system. I have a huge, huge piece of the puzzle for you on that, which I was just given. And I don't know the exact date. I believe it was a couple to several months ago during an experiment of CERN. We're back to CERN. They ramped up the power completely unexpectedly. It wasn't a scheduled test, but they ramped up the power to such an extraordinary level that no one was sure what was going to happen, at least terrestrial. Well, there was somewhat of an explosion of light. And I understand that there were several scientists that were female who literally disappeared in this flash of light. They weren't real people. They were Archons pretending to be people that were helping to manage and guide this experiment of CERN. When this flash took place, a very large Archon ship in our atmosphere went through it.
"2016 brings a whole new series of webinars from Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. Webinar 8 on the 18th of March 2016. Topics covered are Nibiru, black holes, and exciting current events. So, sit back, get your cup of tea, and enjoy. Here's your host, JP. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever on this beautiful little spinning globe you are. And without very much further ado, perhaps we ought to wait a couple of minutes with a bit of preamble, Alex. So do you want to tell us about where we're all going? And here's your star of the show, Alex Collier.
Hardly the star of the show.
Well.
Hi, folks. For all of you that have registered and support the webinars, on behalf of myself, James, and JP, thank you so very, very much. We simply couldn't do it without you, and there would be no need to do it without you. So we are just eternally grateful for your help and your support. This is also a very, very nice way of sharing information without having to do a lot of travel. As you're aware, you know, it's very difficult to maintain a positive field when the news is so dark and so dire, and there's just so much drama. And you know, the whole world's kind of looking like a circus. It really is. Just the things that are going on, the decisions being made, so many people just trying to control, manipulate. It's really quite extraordinary. And today, there is some significant current stat events. And I know that we talked about, you know, we were supposed to talk about black holes, dimensions, and taking back your reality. I will do my best to cover that. But there are some current stat things that absolutely need to be put out there. And I would like you all to have paper and pen so that you can write some things down so you can do your own research. And I would suggest you do that. So we're going to cover some things. After the presentation is over, I will be sending some links, YouTube links, to James to post, so that you can see these things for yourselves, what I'm going to be sharing with you. These events are in progress, and what I mean by that is there are many, many moving parts to this, and it's evolving as we speak. So what we're going to be talking about here, first current stat, is about Nibiru.
Friday, the 22nd of April 2016.
I was able to ask questions of Mornay, and he was very specific in his answer. I'm going to be talking about stuff that's of a sensitive nature. Information that's out there regarding the Nibiru being the inner Earth people. Some updates on Planet X and the Nibiru, the real Nibiru. And we were actually talking about black holes, that black holes mysteriously are all spinning in the same direction. Intelligence regarding everything that goes on inside what we call our universe, or the universal holograph. The next thing we're going to talk about is, in fact, black matter, or dark matter. Here we are, our solar system is moving across the galactic plane. And what it does is it proves that consciousness is absolutely the key to creation of matter. And then there's many people now who are creating the lives that they've always wanted because they're focusing more on what they want. And this also would prove that everything is a hologram. Nothing's ever lost. Everything contains everything. It's just a matter of focusing on what it is that you want. This only brings us back to the place where, ladies and gentlemen, you have no idea how powerful you are. So, now you know. Our solar system is in fact in a quarantine, that they have decided to begin to initiate protocols for contact with Earth. If you hear children singing, it is in fact children singing. I am told that our space fleet participating in a limited way in the removal of some of those pieces no longer exist. They've been pulverized, and to make sure we're not in a form looking at extinction level events. The Earth's magnetic field, because of Nibiru, extreme weather, the old system has had its day, learning how to live without having to pay to live on the planet we were born on. God bless you, I love you, and we'll see you soon.
From Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. Webinar 11.
I want you to know that I absolutely stand by the information I've shared with you. I can't tell you how imperative this is. Bad guys are cornered, and this is what they do. It's going to be overwhelming. But the energy is getting so high, so fast, that they don't know how to process it. Literally skids out, become extreme on a heartbeat. This is a very, very big scenario. Earth has a remarkable history. There were 22 star systems. 19 of those star systems are now free. There are 3 that are pending freedom. One of those would be us. Those of you that are Batal, we need to remember that we are creating this and begin to manifest these things that you want. The idea of a spiritual life is to be free. This was one of the reasons why the Batal fell through time to come here, is so that we could hold the frequency. We're going to talk about Planet X. We're going to talk about how so many people are experiencing deja vu on a regular basis. We are going to talk about CERN. We are going to talk about timelines, the last 2. We're going to talk about teleportation systems, the human genome, and then we're going to end the show with Atlantis, which will take us to the next webinar, where we will be going a little bit more in depth in not only Atlantis and deja vu and CERN, but also timelines.